Alright everyone, so as Gamescom has finally come to a close, the embargo has officially lifted on the cyberspace stages and Sonic Frontiers, etc. So Iizuka is now finally talking and explaining things that some of us have speculated like me and others haven't, but now he can like clear the air now on some of the things we've been worrying about regarding Sonic Frontiers. So I got a lot of that to talk about, some speculations, predictions, and rumors. So we got a lot to cover now in this post Gamescom coverage. But before I do all that, be sure to smash that like button, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Let's see if we can get to 100k subs before the year is over. Alright, so looks like Sega's actually learning from feedback when it comes to their Sonic games. Who would have guessed, you know? Like from the rail momentum physics, like this video where Sonic is actually grinding on rails, you can see that there's some momentum in the physics. That's nice. And this is a Kishimoto directed game. I think this is the first game directed by Kishimoto that actually has some momentum in it. And I've been telling people, like, you know, with the sliders that are in the settings of this game, you can control the momentum of Sonic however you want to. Sonic can go slow, he can go fast. So really, this is the most customizable 3D Sonic game we've ever had. And to be honest, whether or not this game turns out to be good or bad, this is going to be the best controlled Sonic in a 3D game since the Adventure era. May even be better. And yeah, I just have a good feeling about Sonic Frontiers. I'm still cautiously optimistic because Sega could still royally fuck this up. But I don't know, man. Like when I'm seeing everyone being negative on Sonic Frontiers, people who haven't played it yet, I got nothing to say to that. Like I said, the people who are criticizing the cyberspace stages, their opinions are valid. I get it, I understand, but I'm not sharing those opinions, you know, because like I've never seen this many positivity from people, casual gamers, when regards to Sonic Forces. Ever, let's be honest. The only people that were positive on Sonic Forces was the toxic positivity from Sonic fans on Twitter and social media. That doesn't count. People haven't played the game yet. But this is different, man. This is really different. I want to read this article that shares my sentiments. It says, ignore the critics. Sonic Frontiers is fine, and I played it. The upcoming 3D Sonic game actually plays really great and takes more inspiration from Breath of the Wild than you think. I'm pretty sure a lot of us guessed that. The Sonic Frontiers is fine. Don't let the critics or internet fool you. It's a fun game that looks to give the Hedgehog freedom of an open world environment like never before, with numerous interweaving levels reminiscent of Sonic Generations. And from my time spent, I'm really excited. Now don't get me wrong, I don't want to mislead anyone from my 30-minute hands-on time with Sonic Frontiers at Gamescom 2022. Anyone that hasn't enjoyed Sonic since the character moved to the world of 3D is unlikely to be convinced by its upcoming release. On the other hand, those Sonic fans that have met heartbreak time and time again, yet have found some solace in past games, will likely enjoy Frontiers. I'm one of them. I have to agree because like I said, ever since I played Lego Sonic Dimensions and I played that open world, I was like, yo, I would love a Sonic game, a Sonic open world game that plays similar to Lego Dimensions or Lego Sonic Dimensions. That mixed up with Mario Odyssey, Bowser's Fury, you have yourself a great Sonic game, a different Sonic game, but a Sonic game that I will love because I love those type of open world games. Like, I'm not a huge fan of open world games, but if it's something like Mario Odyssey, Bowser's Fury, I will eat that shit up. Or like Lego City Undercover, Lego Sonic Dimensions. And that's what we're getting. And I like it. From what I've seen the open world, like I'm showing you the first 15 minutes of the open world in Sonic Frontiers. It's really fun. I like the flow of it, you know, and I feel if you're not going to enjoy the open world, if you're going into Sonic Frontiers just for the cyberspace stages, yes, you will be thoroughly disappointed because Frontiers, the game is not marketed as a Generations type of game because the cyberspace stages, although there's going to be like at least 35 stages, 35 bite-sized stages, it's not the main course. You know, even though we're technically getting more boost stages than ever before, the open world areas of this game are way longer. Like this is a 20 to 30 hour plus game, you know? The control scheme most closely resembles Sonic Colors. Okay, I don't agree with that. And the day levels in Sonic Unleashed, two of the more positive 3D experiences of the past 20 years. You know what grinds my gears? Why is it these critics always skip out on Generations? He just mentioned Generations, but anytime they talk about the best 3D Sonic games, they always say Colors and this. Like, no, Generations completely shat on Colors in terms of like level design and everything. Colors, the only upper hand it had over Generations was it was more original, the originality. But whatever. Sonic is pretty quick even at the lowest level, with his speed able to rise all the way to level 50, which will be needed to truly traverse the 5 islands that make up the main campaign at a good pace. A generous sized boost bar helps movement constant, pushing you towards the next set of enemies, grind rails, and or puzzles. My playthrough began on the 2nd level, Ares Island, a desert-filled land with the occasional oasis and a skyscraper-sized boss awaiting battle. These mechanical behemoths are called Guardians, the first of numerous Breath of the Wild resemblances. These are needed to be defeated to retrieve vault keys, and subsequently reclaim the Chaos Emeralds. You know, I was thinking you usually get the gear cogs or whatever from defeating the enemies. You put the gear cogs in that little vault tower, and then you get like keys, and then the keys is what you use to play the cyberspace stages, and then you get the emeralds. But I may be wrong. Now, I don't want to read this whole entire article because it pretty much is just explaining how the game is. You know, I don't need to read all this. It's a long article, but it's just showing you guys how a lot of people who are playing Sonic Frontiers are enjoying the game. I'm seeing scores from like as low as 6 to as high as 10 out of 10, as I showed earlier. So I don't know, or maybe it's just that the build up to Frontiers for me has been pretty peaceful. You know, build up to Sonic Frontiers has been much more peaceful to me than the build up to Sonic Forces. So I can't be bothered about you guys fighting over a game you haven't played yet. Maybe it's because, like I said, I'm private on Twitter. I'm not active on social media like Twitter, so I don't interact with the fan base anymore. So there's no dumb drama, arguments, you know, and fighting. Even though there's a lot of fighting and toxicity over Sonic Frontiers, I'm just not involved in that anymore. So that's why, I don't know, I'm enjoying this build up to Frontiers. And what's ironic is that some of you are the same motherfuckers that'll be in my comments saying these leaks are bullshit, you haven't played the game yet, and yet I'm more likely to be right on these leaks, as I have before, than the people that are either blinded by toxic positivity or toxic negativity. You know, it's just funny to me. But anyway, let's get to some of these Iizuka interviews. But before I do, I want to talk about these islands. Now, it's very curious, you know, the first island, the grassy island, is called Kronos. The second desert island oasis is called Ares. Now, these are obviously names of Greek gods, you know, Ares, Kronos, and they're not just Greek gods. These are the Greek names of the planets. Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, those are all Roman names. They all have a Greek name because, as you guys have known, if you've studied this in history, Romans conquered the Greeks, so they adopted a lot of Greek culture and Greek religion, and they renamed a lot of their gods in Roman names. The planets in our solar system are given Roman names after the Greek gods. Like, for instance, Kronos is Saturn, basically. Kronos is sometimes spelled with a C, but in this case it's spelled with a K. That equals Saturn. And Ares is Mars. I'm trying to make sense of these names, why Sega would give these names. Now, since Ares stands for Mars, you know, Mars is basically a red planet. A lot of the dirt is red and brownish like sand. And Ares in Sonic Frontiers is a desert island, so a lot of red sand, brown sand. So maybe that's the similarities. Now with Kronos, since Kronos stands for Saturn, maybe Sega Saturn, I don't know. I don't really see any similarities between Saturn and Kronos Island. I don't know. But now that we know that we're going to have 5 islands in total, there's still 3 more islands that we're going to get. And I have a prediction to make. I bet we're going to get an island named Hermes. Now, Hermes is the Greek name for the planet Mercury. If people are saying we're getting a volcano island or whatever, that's definitely going to be called Hermes. I'm going to name you all the planets in the Greek names. Now, first, the sun, Apollo. Earth is Gaia. Now, we might have an island named Gaia, but that's already been taken in Sonic Unleashed. You know, Gaia, Dark Gaia, Light Gaia, that's basically Greek for Earth. And Moon is Artemis, so we might have an island named Artemis, but I think Sonic Team is going to go with the pattern of naming these islands after planets, not the sun, the Earth, or the Moon. So, Mercury, we got Hermes. Venus, we got Aphrodite. You know, and it's funny because Aphrodite is the goddess of love and everything. You would think that the island that Sonic rescues Amy in will be called Aphrodite instead of Kronos, but whatever, I digress. But Aphrodite is Venus, Mars is Ares, Jupiter is Zeus, Saturn is Kronos, Uranus or Uranus is also Uranus or Uranus, I don't know how to pronounce that. Neptune is Poseidon, you know, god of the 7 seas, and Pluto is Hades. These are the names I think the islands will be named after. Definitely Hermes, and then perhaps Zeus or Hades. I don't think we're going to get any of these other names like Aphrodite or Uranus or Poseidon. I don't think so. I think Sonic Team is going to keep up with the pattern of having these islands with S as the letter of the end of these names, like, you know, Kronos, Ares, Hermes, Hades type of stuff. So what do you guys think about this? You know, I think it's really cool. I've always been fascinated by Greek mythology and all that, so I think that's what we're going to get. I'm pretty sure we're going to get an island named Hermes. We'll see. But now back to Iizuka. Now, there's been people who have said that this game, Sonic Frontiers, is mostly cyberspace stages and the open world is like a side thing. And I don't know why some people are saying that. It's like, why are you saying that? Like, this game is mostly open world. Cyberspace is a side thing. Like I said before, if you think that Frontiers is going to be mostly a Generations type of game and you're going into that, you're going in with the wrong notion, you know. But now this interview of Iizuka is really interesting. It says Sonic Team Studio head Takashi Iizuka on the essence of Sonic says just going fast does not make it fun. So I'm like, so does Iizuka finally realize that Sonic Forces is bad? This is basically his way of saying that he regrets Sonic Forces. I mean, because deep down he should know that that's not how a Sonic game should play. It says Iizuka has spoken about the essence of the series and what makes a new entry in the series great. In Iizuka's view, it's all about the fun feeling you have while moving. He told Eurogamer that regardless of whether it's a 2D or 3D game, linear or open zone, it's really that sense of enjoyment that I'm running with Sonic at a high speed and thinking, this is fun, I'm having a great time. However, he doesn't believe it simply comes down to going fast. You know, speed has always been a reward with these Sonic games since the beginning. Iizuka further explained, it's very clear to me that just going fast does not make it fun. You could be, you know, just running in a straight line super duper fast, but it's going to be kind of boring. You're not going to feel like you're going fast, and it's really through the design of the course and the things that you're having to do where you feel that speed and where you feel that fun. So regardless, if it's a 2D game or 3D linear zone, it's that sensation, that feeling when you play with Sonic that the team is really focused on. So yeah, that's really interesting that Iizuka said that and gives me more faith on Frontiers not being like Forces, which is a good thing. And this is why I'm honestly not too worried about Frontiers like previous game. My optimism is increasing. Unlike with Forces, where I was at first very optimistic about Forces, and as time went on, my optimism started waning and I started becoming more cynical. You know, I think I'm going to react to that whole playlist of Sonic Forces sometime before Frontiers comes out, maybe October, just to show you guys how I started off really hyped and that waned until the game came out and I was very bummed. But in this case, it's opposite. You know, Frontiers, I was not looking forward to this game at all. I was very skeptical because Sonic Team. But as time goes on, I'm starting to get more interested in this, more hyped for this, more optimistic. Oh yeah, and also, I don't know if I mentioned this before, but there's purple coins throughout the islands in this game, kind of like the purple coins in Mario Odyssey, but instead of using purple coins, you know, as currency to buy things, Sonic uses these purple coins for Big the Cat to do like these mini fishing levels, so that's pretty cool. And also, it has been confirmed that Shadow will not be in Sonic Frontiers. It will only be Sonic, Tails, Knuckles, Amy, and Big the Cat. So basically Sonic Adventure 1 with the exception of Gamma. So I'm totally fine with that, you know, go back to your roots. And honestly, until Sega stops making Shadow a joke, I don't want to see Shadow again until they know what to do with him, because these mandates really have just killed Shadow's character. So I'd rather he not be in Frontiers. So all those leaks that were saying that he would be playable as DLC, I'm not sure if that's true anymore. Maybe he still will come back as DLC, but in the main base game, he's not. Also, Iizuka explains here the reason for cyberspace. He says here, we want to kind of reuse those memories, like the memories we have as well, because we played the games with Sonic, but the team is doing it intentionally to kind of poke at those little points that some players are going to pick up on immediately. So I've been knowing that, you know, Sega intentionally brought back level stage designs for the cyberspace stages. They just never confirmed it, but after talking with the insider, I knew it. It was because of Sonic's memories and stuff. But I know some people are like, this is not a good excuse, and like I said, I totally get it. But for this game, I'm loving it. It's cool, like seeing Sky Sanctuary, and you're seeing like Dragon Road from Unleashed, those kind of level design themes in Sky Sanctuary. And then you're seeing some badniks from like Chemical Plant or whatever in that. It's really cool. And Iizuka also confirmed there's going to be some new stages in cyberspace. So that's reassuring to hear that not everything will be, you know, the same old, same old. And I know that 3D city level looks very interesting. The first one, which looks really new. And then there's another one that is basically the level design from Sonic Adventure 2, City Escape. And that looks really cool because that's not a boost title. That's not a boost level. So I want to see more levels like that and less rehashed levels from the Boost games. Yeah, Iizuka continues, and we are making Sonic Frontiers levels that maybe look different, but feel the same as other things you have experienced. But yeah, I don't think this is them being lazy. You can say it's them being uninspired, but they know what they're doing. It's related to the story. They actually have an excuse now. Also, Iizuka confirms that Sage and Infinite are not connected. He said that while they have similar effects, they're not connected in any way. And I'm like, good, because I don't want any connection between her and Infinite. Infinite is dead. He was a wasted potential character. But what I'm starting to think, which is my little theory, is that Sage is not the villain of Sonic Frontiers. It's the AI voice that talks to Sonic. That is the villain, or the villainess, whatever you want to call it. So Sonic, in a way, is the bad guy in this game, but he doesn't know that because he's doing the evil AI's bidding, whereas Sage is actually good. She's trying to tell Sonic to get off the island because she says it in this trailer. She says that your actions will condemn the entire world. So she has a point. That's what I'm thinking. I don't think she's necessarily the villain. So this is kind of going to be like Sonic in the Black Knight, whereas we thought Merlina was good, she ended up being bad. Whereas in this case, we think Sage is bad, but she's going to actually end up being good. And it's actually going to be Sonic that is kind of like the villain because he's listening to the AI, and the AI is the one that's malicious. That's what I think. We're going to see if this theory ages well. Because even Stully says here that Sonic Frontiers is definitely going to give us a shocking Sonic is the villain ending. The similarities with Shadow of the Colossus are immense. And if this was Shadow of the Colossus type of plot, then yeah, it's definitely going to be reflected in Sonic Frontiers, since that game borrows heavily from Zelda Breath of the Wild and Shadow of the Colossus. And Iizuka also goes into more detail about the Cocos, and yeah, it's pretty much confirmed now that Cocos are the new Wisps, which is pretty cool if you think about it, because the 90s, the Flickies were like the main type of cute characters in the classic Sonic era. Then in the 2000s, it was the Chow. In the 2010s, it was the Wisps. Now in the 2020s, it's definitely going to be the Cocos. And like this boss, if you see here in the Ares Island, you could see how like Sonic Team could have easily used the Laser Wisp as Sonic was like, you know, zipping back and forth, destroying the enemy. But I like how they didn't use Laser Wisp. They just made it part of Sonic's arsenal, his movesets. And I admire that level of restraint, because had this been the 2010s meta era, Sonic Team would have definitely used Laser. They definitely would have used that, but I'm glad that they've completely done away with the Wisps. I think we're all ready to move on now. So Cocos era it is. And yeah, a lot of Sonic's movesets are very Dragon Ball Z, Dragon Ball Super inspired. You know, one of my videos a couple years ago, I said I wanted Sonic to go back to being Shonen, and it looks like Sonic Team finally got the message, and we're getting a Shonen anime Sonic, which I love. So Iizuka talks about Cocos here. He says you're going to find a lot of these Coco all around the different islands. And as you're picking them up and how many you collect, there's going to be ways you can power up Sonic's abilities. So these Cocos are going to give Sonic power-ups. But he's saying that the Cocos play into the story quite a bit, so I'm afraid I can't really talk about what they are too much. We definitely don't want to spoil the mystery. Yeah, they're hiding a lot for Frontiers because it's a very mysterious game. And he says if we were to really compare the Cocos, it's not like Chow, which are creatures you grow and nurture and play around with. Iizuka added, the Cocos' unique feature is that they are tied to your actual progression and the fun things you can do on the island. I mean, the Cocos are pretty much made out of rocks and stuff, so like how can they grow, you know? I mean, they're rocks. So I'm pretty sure they give you abilities. And also, another thing that's been debunked, Knuckles is in the second island. All this time I thought Knuckles would be in the third island and Tails is in the second island, but that's not it. It says in Ares Island, our goal involved rescuing Knuckles. We didn't fight Ares Island's main boss due to the limitations of the time demo, unless you count an entertaining chase scene after helping Knuckles. So it says here from Push Square, trapped within a red sphere, our goal involved rescuing a certain Knucklehead, and most locations seemingly have at least one of Sonic's friends trapped within. Freeing them requires memory tokens earned by exploring the island. So between unearthing token piles, completing small platforming challenges, and taking down enemies, you've got a few options. So there's a lot of mini bosses, and all that stuff. So that's cool. Now I can understand how, you know, people are able to hack past the autosave feature in the demos and rescue Knuckles and stuff. Because I'm like, wait, if Knuckles is in the third island, how the hell did you beat the second island already? But Knuckles is in the second island, so I get it now. So that means we're not going to get much of Tails in this game. That's interesting. But alright, I think that wraps it up for all the post-embargo news. All the important stuff to cover. So yeah, what do you guys think about all this? Let me know down in the comments below. What do you think about my theory about Sonic being the villain in Sonic Frontiers and Sage actually being good? And also, the whole Greek mythology and the islands being named after the Greek gods like Ares, Apollo, Kronos, all that stuff? And do you think we're going to get an island named Hermes, or do you think it's going to be Zeus or something like that, or Hades? Also, let me know what you think about Iizuka's interviews and what he thinks about Sonic Forces and how much of an improvement Frontiers will be. But alright, that wraps it up for now, so take care. And until next time, I'm out.